Very good morning to all you students there. Today is your fourth introductory class, and today also we'll start with a small note. Life is better when you smile. So I want you to smile with your books and copies. So you should be ready to put in a lot of effort this year. So last class, children, I told you about the chapters that we have to do in your NCERT book, and today we'll be discussing about the blueprint of your question paper, though this will be told to you again and again before your exams start. Now your question paper will be of 80 marks and 20 marks will be of your practicals. Now in this 80 marks, how will be the question paper split it into? 1 marks you are having 20 questions, 3 marks you are having 5 questions, 4 marks 3 questions, 5 marks 3 questions, 6 marks 3 questions. That is, except for 1 markers and 3 markers, all the 4 markers, 5 markers, 6 markers will be of 3, that is, you will be getting 3 questions there. So 20 marks, that is 1 marks will be 20 marks. So you cannot expect to have one type of question there. So we will be seeing what are the types of questions. There are 7 types of questions expected there. Multiple choice questions, fill in the blanks, true and false, one word to one sentence, match the following, indirect questions, and case study questions. From 1 to 6, most of you have done earlier also, that is fill in the blanks, true and false, MCQs and all that, match the following, indirect questions. But what is new here is the case study question, and it forms a major part of your question paper. Now what is a case study, children? These are real situations that are given to you, and you will be assessing the question, and you should know from where the question has been asked. It is like a paragraph, it will be given to you, and you will have to see the question is from which particular chapter. So it is actually very difficult for most of the students, previous year students, but with thorough practice and thorough knowledge of your book, it is easy enough, okay? But we do not want superficial studies now. You have to have thorough knowledge of each and every chapter, then only you will be able to know the case study questions. I will be showing you the case study questions when the chapters will be beginning, okay? Now types of short answers and long answers. Short answers are of 3 marks, 4 marks, and long answers are of 5 marks and 6 marks. So the type of question there expected is direct questions, indirect question, and again case study question. So you can see case study is a very important part that will be there in all types of questions, and you will be having multiple choice also questions and all that thing, but case study is a major part of your, that is, question paper, okay? So now today, children, this is it for your question paper. Now last class I told you I'll just do a revision of what is a private sector and a public sector. You should know what is a private sector and a public sector. So you have done it in the last class, I think, standard 10. So let us see public sector versus private sector. So meaning of private sector. Private sector is that organization which is organized, managed and controlled by private individuals or private institutions. And what is the aim of the private sector? Maximization of profit. So that is the aim of a private sector. So any company which is owned, managed, controlled by the private individual becomes the private sector. It can be small business, medium size, any kind of business. So that is what is private sector. Now public sector, a public sector is an organization which is owned by public authorities. It can be the central government or the local authorities to the extent of 50% or more. That is, 50% of the shareholders can be the government, or more than 50% will be the share of the public sector. It is established for achieving a definite set of public purpose, okay, which may be multidimensional. Mainly it is done for public welfare. So like building of roads, building of bridges, etc. These are all public sector units that they are doing the work. Okay, so this is all coming under public sector. And apart from that, we are having a number of companies of public sector. Okay, so examples of public sector: ONGC, State Bank of India, SAIL, Indian Oil Corporation, GAIL, etc. And example of private sector: Tata, Reliance, Jindal, Birla, Godrej. These are the big names that you already know. So these are all private sector, and the ones above, that is your public sector. So this you must have done in your standard 10, but just a revision we have done here. We should know the difference between public sector and the private sector now. So what is the difference between public sector and private sector? The first difference is based on the ownership there. So owned and controlled by the government is public sector. Owned and controlled by the individuals or corporations is the private sector. What is the aim of public sector? Aims is public welfare. And what is the aim of private sector? Aim is profit maximization. Public sector is less competitive. That is why you can see lethargy in the work atmosphere of public sector, because there is less competition there. However, lot of competition is there in the private sector. So that is why we are getting best of services from the private sector, because lot of cut to cut competition they are having. So this is it, children, the difference between the public sector and the private sector. Okay, so I hope the topic is clear to you. This we will be doing again in the chapters when we are going to do, but we are going to do it in greater details, but this is just a revision. Okay, so thank you all of you. Have a nice day. Good day all of you.